you ever remember playing hide and seek? You know, that game where you hid and hoped your friend would find you, but 2 hours later you realised they were sitting down eating What's-Its while watching TV? Yeah, that game. Well, imagine taking that concept, but instead of you hiding, you're hiding a corpse and hoping the police don't find it. Now on paper this sounds incredibly morbid, but change the art style for a 70s aesthetic and add some funny physics-based gameplay and well, you've got Hide the Corpse. I'll be going over what the game offers to help you decide if it's one for you. Now, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, then please consider doing so. It supports the channel a lot, and as seeing as you're already here, please watch the video to the end, as again, this really helps. Also, why not leave a comment and a like? So without further ado, let's jump into Hide the Corpse. Now, for anyone that doesn't know this game, it arrived on Quest back in May 2024 and got quite favourable reviews, and even I enjoyed my time with it. But fast forward to August of 2025 and it's finally arrived on the PSVR2. But will this quirky game find an audience there? The game doesn't really have a story, however each level you spawn into a location with Gus. He's the corpse, by the way. Now we don't know if you did the crime, but you're sure not going down for it. You have a short amount of time to hide the corpse, evidence and clean up any trace you were there before the cops barge down the door. Think you can do it? That's pretty much the premise. As for the gameplay, it's pretty simplistic, and again this is where I say simplicity sometimes amounts to so much more in VR, and the decision of adding a timer really puts you on the edge. Now you may be wondering, what do you actually do, so let's go over that. Each level you will have to hide Gus in one of the 6 hiding spots, so let's take the first level for instance. You have various spots in this apartment and you need to hide him in 4 minutes to ensure you've cleaned up sufficiently. Without giving away all the locations, I'll concentrate on 2 within the first level to talk about. You may be thinking this doesn't sound that difficult, and on paper it really isn't, but each item has weight, including Gus. The first spot I decided to hide him in was a sofa, which conveniently had a cutout of a body, which is not weird at all. After removing all the cushions and putting Gus in the sofa, I put everything back where it was. By the time I had done this, I only had 30 seconds left. Now this was heavily due to me finding and hiding Gus's belongings prior to hiding him, but I managed to get all of that done and they didn't find him. Each hiding spot will be hit with a ranking based on score, and this is determined on how quick you hide Gus, his belongings and if they've been hid, and lastly how well you've cleaned up. Scoring doesn't reflect when unlocking further levels, but it does give you a reason to replay. Now to unlock each level you must hide Gus in a certain amount of locations in each previous level. This can be somewhat tedious, but at the same time makes the game last. There are a total of 6 levels to play, all featuring various hiding spots to bring you a good few hours of playtime unless you find you're overly skilled at this game. Overall the gameplay is fun and engaging and could be considered somewhat of a party game due to its short play span and overall humour. There are also some skins you can unlock for Gus while playing, but I never felt inclined to do that, so I just continued with the normal skin, but it's nice to see that they're included. Let's quickly go over the graphics. They're bright and over the top with everything looking quite large, and this really suits the art style. However, the actual graphics themselves could be a little bit better, and I think a bump in resolution would be appreciated. I'm also happy to say the game does have some vibration in the controllers, but this is pretty on par with the Quest version, but either way they do add to the immersion. I'm also happy to say that I did not experience any frame drops or crashes and it ran as intended. Now for the settings, the game has smooth and snap turning plus tunneling. However, if you're someone who plays VR seated, then this is not one for you. This is due to the game not having a toggle crouch button, and therefore you have to manually duck down to do all the actions. Now for what I didn't like. Well, for a game I really enjoyed on the Quest, I do have some issues with this port. Firstly, the graphics could have been a bit better. They're by no means bad, but I think at times they could be clearer. Another issue I have is when games stop you from progressing without ticking off certain things on previous levels. This is the oldest trick in the video game handbook, and it's usually due to a lack of content. Now the game will bring a few hours of entertainment, but get ready to look at the same environment a good few times. I also feel a toggle crouch button should be added, as without it the game is not accessible for anyone unable to stand or stand for long periods of time. Lastly, the game doesn't feature a platinum trophy, which is a huge missed opportunity as it would have upped the value of replayability for some. Overall, Hide the Corpse is a game I very much enjoyed my time with, and that's also on the Quest. And the PSVR2 port is pretty average, but at the end of it all, the game is still fun, and I think it's good for people who enjoy some slapstick humour followed by hide and seek style gameplay. Now as you can imagine, it's not a game that will last forever, but it's certainly one you can play as a group and have some funny moments. It also brings that old gameplay style of improvement through repetition, and if you're someone who enjoys trying to beat your own time, then I think you'll get a lot of value from this. Now, will I continue playing it? And the answer to that is, every now and then I think I'll jump back in for 30 minutes to an hour. So, should you get this game, and all I can say is if you enjoy funny style games but also enjoy clearing objectives, then yes, it's decent fun. However, if you feel 6 levels is not enough, then I'd recommend looking somewhere else. This concludes my review of Hide the Corpse. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to stick around. I cover PSVR2, Quest and PC VR, so I'm sure you'll find something that interests you. Thanks for watching and have a great day.